started. We're going to talk about some motivation. We're going to talk about some meditation. We're going to talk about some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. We got some focused knowledge and discipline going on today. Getting ourselves into that vibration, getting ourselves into that place, utilizing what we have inside, utilizing our abilities, our mentalities. So, what is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to overcome? Where is it that you want to go? And what are the types of things that you want to do? And so, yesterday, I went and sat at a lake. I was working to get some things in organized and into a place and into a timely manner to where I can be vibrating at a higher vibration. So how do we start getting ourselves there? A lot of times the challenges that we're facing off against, they're not on the outside, they're what's going on inside. They're what we're facing off against within ourselves. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, and I think about how I just went out and I sat down at a lake and I meditated, and was in a place where I was able to focus, where I was able to be by myself and spend some time by myself. And it was really great. It was really wonderful to have that kind of space, to have that place where I could be by myself, and and that I could sit down and truly utilize what's going on inside, and truly to get to that place where the mentality lays, and I'm sitting there and I'm meditating, and it was just a wonderful experience. It was wonderful to, feel how it feels that even when things are not working in our favor, if you continue, they will. If you continue, they'll become. And it was really great to have that place, to have that time, and to have that ability. And I recognize that it really took that. You know what I'm saying? And it was really great. And I plan to go back over there today and sit down and do another hour of meditation after a video here, and then come back and get some stuff done to some of my equipment. And so what happens when our butts are getting kicked? Like, what happens when we're trying to focus and we don't know if we're taking the right steps, if we're not putting ourselves in the right places, if we're not giving ourselves the best place for our minds. And I want to approach that today. I want to approach that place where you start to believe in yourself, where you truly start to believe in your ability, and where you sit down and it's okay to be by yourself. It's what makes us who we are, is to be ourselves, and to truly be who we are on the inside doesn't come from the outside, it actually comes from within you. And so as I was sitting there, I was focusing on that. I was focusing on that ability. I was utilizing that place, utilizing that kind of mentality, utilizing that place where we can truly focus, yeah, where we can truly be who we are on the inside, and that it starts to become worth it. And so I'm sitting there and I've just finally had a minute to be able to enjoy this lake, and finally had a minute to be able to sit down and to put my mind into a place where it was worth it. Put my mind into a place where it isn't about anything else. It's about you and you. And I'm sitting there and I'm meditating on the lake, and I'm just observing. And sometimes observing is the highest level of focus, because when you have a moment to step aside, when you have a moment to see what's going on, when you have a moment to believe in yourself and you have a moment to believe in your ability, and then what you have going on inside becomes worth it. And as I was sitting there, as I was meditating, as I was putting myself into that place where I was able to focus, where I was able to ask that question, is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? And to be able to say that that's exactly what I did yesterday, exactly what I put my mind into, and what I'm putting my mind into on a daily basis, and what am I looking at, what am I achieving, what am I overcoming, and so I recognized that I don't need anything but myself, you know, that, if people want to be a part of this, then they're going to have to want to be around me for the things that I like to do, the places that I like to go, the challenges that I face off against, that I could be nothing less than myself and nothing more than who I am. And as I'm sitting there, as I'm sitting by myself, I started to feel joy. I started to feel peace. I started to feel a connection with the universe. And, we each have that place, but do we give ourselves that kind of time? I mean, do you truly give yourself time for you? You know, and it was interesting because as I was going to that lake, my father called and he was asking, you know, how's your car? And I'm sitting there at the lake meditating, and it's great because when you face off against challenges and you get your butt kicked over and over and over and over again, okay, when you're getting your butt kicked over and over and over again, and something finally works, okay, you feel a sense of victory. You feel a sense of strength. You feel a sense of the ability inside of yourself starting to vibrate. You start to believe that it's possible, that you can do it. And I'm sitting there on the lake, and I'm recognizing that no matter what, I am right where I am. That I am doing what it takes. That I am sitting down and I am enjoying myself, and that I have a lot to offer. Are you able to do that too? Because it's worth it. If you can get a minute to yourself to put yourself in a place where you value you, where you value your abilities, where you value your mentality, as I was sitting there, as I was going through, you know, the ability within to focus, to put myself into that place where I could be who I am. I started to realize, and started to decompress and started to feel peace and started to feel that what we focus on is worth it, and I'm I'm sitting here with you guys, and I'm working through the parts of myself and through the parts of the mentality, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it, and I'm recognizing that it's within, okay, that it's when you're willing to do it no matter who is around you, okay, when you're willing to sit at a lake even if it's by yourself, that you start to feel that joy, that you start to have that place inside of yourself where you're focused, okay. And I'm sitting there at the lake, and I'm recognizing that, for those of you that might not know, I had a vehicle that broke down on me, and me and a close companion of mine were stuck in a car for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then, I was without transportation for almost 3 months, and we continued working and stuff like that, and then their car started breaking down. What do you do then? You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're sitting there and you start to feel that kind of a victory, like something is working. Like, I mean, this can relate to the professional aspect as well. Ask yourself, how long have you worked on a project before it became successful? You know, how long have you worked on yourself? How long have you worked on your abilities? How long have you worked on your mentality? And, it's inside of each of us that we end up wanting to succeed. It's inside of each of us that we want things to work. We want things to happen for us. And, I sat there and I recognized that. I recognized that it takes that place, that it takes that shape, it takes that form. And it's inside of who we are that we build up, and it takes a lot of patience with yourself to go through challenges. I understand the challenges that we go through, and the place to be positive is what becomes the outcome when you put yourself in a place where your mentality can do that. And that's what I felt yesterday as I was sitting at that lake that I hadn't gone for some time, as I was sitting on that lake, as I was doing that meditation, as I was working with the breath work and enjoying the things around me, that I didn't need anything, that I was there and I was at peace by myself. You hearing what I'm saying? And one of the things that I realized was that one of the biggest treasures on the face of the planet is to enjoy oneself. And it's when you start to enjoy yourself, when you start to enjoy your ability, when you start to enjoy the person that you are and that you don't need anything else, that's when other people start to see, and they start to add to your life, okay? And you want people to add to your life. You want people to want to be embraced by you. You want them to want to see you for you, and to get to know you for the person that you are inside. And the person that we really neglect the most to know the inside isn't other people, it's ourselves. And so as I was sitting there, I started to recognize that. I started to recognize that there's a real treasure there. When we can give ourselves a little bit of space, when we can give ourselves a little bit of time. And I saw it. I saw it yesterday. I saw it sitting there by myself and wanting to have time to myself. And we all need that time. Sometimes we want to give our time away to other people. We want to give our abilities to a profession or to a companion or to a relationship. When do we have time for ourselves? And it was so healthy to sit there, and I really came home and I laid down and I rested, and I was like, wow, this is great. This is truly great that I could enjoy myself, that I could sit at a lake and do meditation, and that I could be by myself, and it was so wonderful. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, and I do hope that those people start to want to go and do those types of things, but I can only do the things that I enjoy. You can only be who you are. And I was sitting there and I was recognizing and I was going through memories of times that I've had. And I was finding it finally. I had a lot of pain, okay, afflicted. I had a lot of things that I had to work through, and it took a long time to find myself. And it took a lot of self-care. It took a lot of self-understanding. It took a lot of self-observation to sit down and to start to want to focus to that level where you can enjoy yourself. And it was just wonderful to watch the sun go down, you know, and see the stars in the sky, you know. And I felt so special. It felt so special to be there by myself, to actually have that space, to hold that space for yourself, okay? And it it really, really opened me up to the fact that I'm not in need of anything other than this one. All right? And that if those people want to be with me, they've got to want to be with me. And I focused there. I focused when I was sitting there, I was feeling a sense of understanding that it was okay, that all of the things and all of the challenges that I had gone through, the places, those people that were already in that space before, the time that I held in the place that I held was okay. And so as I sit here today, as I prepare myself for going back to that same lake, to go back to go do that meditation again today, you know, I'm reminded that first we master the morning, then we master the evening. You see, I'm working for both. I'm in a place of mentality. I'm mastering the morning. I'm putting out these videos. I'm getting on this YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and other platforms and in podcasts, and I'm getting out there, and I'm spending time on self-growth. I'm spending time on self-being. I'm spending time on self-purpose and self-ability, and it is a beautiful thing to have those kinds of challenges. And it truly is worth it for you to go through challenge. It's truly worth it for you to have challenges. It's truly worth it for you to want to light up within. It's worth it for you want to believe in yourselves and to start to want to believe in your abilities and to start to want to believe in your mentality, and it's inside of who we are that we could focus to that point, and I always am talking about when we focus, when we focus, and we are the focus, my friends. Have you given yourself that kind of time to be that kind of focus? Have you given yourself that kind of place to utilize that part of who you are, to utilize that part of your being, that part of your vibration, and it truly comes from within. You know what I mean? It comes from the person who's willing to continue when other people quit. And it's amazing, because what about when things start working? Okay? A lot of times we get kicked to the ground. We get told it's not possible. We get told we can't do it. We can't achieve it. We can't become it. When do we say to ourselves, I can, and even though it's not at this moment. I will continue to focus until it becomes possible. And I will continue to focus until it becomes possible. You hear what I'm saying? The universe yielding at that level. The universe yielding to where it becomes possible, where it starts to become from within. It starts to come from that ability inside of ourselves where we have what it takes, and we're sitting down inside of who we are. We're sitting down inside of our mentality. We're sitting down inside of our ability, and we're focusing past the challenges, and we're focusing to the place where we have what it takes, and we're asking the questions that nobody else can for us. We're asking the questions, are we going to be able to achieve this? Are we going to be able to dream this? Is it going to be possible for me to do that? And I sat there and I said, wow, it took you a long time to get right here. It took you a long time to focus. You had a lot of things coming up against you, and a lot of people telling you it's not possible, and that you're not going to get it fixed, and that it's not going to happen. And I sat there and I continued to grind, and I continued to focus, and I continued to say it is possible until it became possible. See, that's the place where we write it down. That's when it starts to see things in a positive light. If you continue to focus on something until it becomes possible, then you have a chance, my friends. Then you have a chance to utilize your mentalities. You have a chance to utilize your abilities, your being, your vibration starts to happen, your ability inside of who you are. And we can do that. We can truly start to do that. We can truly start to use those kind of gifts. We can truly start to use those kind of abilities. We can focus to that place where positivity becomes the results, where we are allowing the process of getting there, the storms, the things that we're working through, the places that we're looking to go, the challenges that we're facing off against, and doing that today, and getting ready to go and sit down at that same lake and do that meditation again. Are you doing that as well? Are you giving yourself that kind of place to have that kind of focus? And it's inside of our beings that we can open up that part of ourselves, and to vibrate outwards from that place means that the universe is utilizing you. See, we forget that we live in a beautiful earth. We live on a planet where vibration, where sunlight, where our abilities to be ourselves can be possible. You see, when we start to focus into those type of things, when we start to focus on those type of things, when those things start to happen, when they start to become a part of who you are, when you start to manifest and you start to vibrate outwards from within who you are, it happens in such a way that you start to focus, okay? It happens in such a way that you start to overcome, and it happens in such a way that we can put ourselves in a place where we can believe in who we are. And when you're focused at that level, amazing things start to become possible. The right people will start getting attracted to you, the people that are positive, the people that are seeking out that part of the light. They're seeking out that part of their being. They're utilizing what they have inside, and are we recognizing that? So, I I feel in a sense that a lot of people don't feel it's easy to focus. Okay, they say it's not that easy. And yet they don't put in the work. They don't go through the storms. They don't put themselves in a place where they are facing off against those types of things. And you see, they only see one side of the coin. They see the side of the coin that everything has to be successful, that if you're working through challenges, if you're putting yourself on a page inside of who you are, if you're going through things today, if you're, looking at challenges and you're looking at if you have the ability, if you have the mentality, and, and that is what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about that mentality. I'm talking about that exact ability inside of yourselves to believe in you. And when we focus to that point where positivity becomes the results, I think about this storm that I just passed through. Just passed through this storm. And I think about, what it takes to go through storms. What it takes to be who we are, and to be who we are on the inside. And I'm continually growing. We are continually manifesting. We are continuously bringing ourselves closer to things. And, what are the things that you're bringing yourself closer towards? You know what I'm saying? What is it that you are overcoming? Okay. And it's self-peace. It's self. That's what we're overcoming. We're overcoming ourselves. We're overcoming our challenges. We're becoming who we are on the inside, and sitting at a lake by yourself and finding joy inside of who you are and inside of your ability is amazing. And I am looking at this. I'm looking at what is happening around me and happening within me, and I'm seeing that it's worth it, and I'm sitting on top of 3,300 followers on Facebook, 20, 30 plus people on my personal website a day. I got Facebook, Twitter, you got the podcast going on here, and I'm seeing the growth. I'm seeing what I sat down trying to achieve becoming possible. I'm seeing the ability within happening. I'm seeing the people that are wanting to be around me being around me. And, I embrace that, and I embrace that, it's when we build ourselves up, when we're focusing on that level, that we start to radiate a reflection of motivation. And are we embodying that kind of motivation on a daily? I'm sitting here and I'm really enjoying. I'm drinking my morning shake, and I'm doing my video, and I'm getting ready to prepare myself to drive down the street to this lake and to sit there and to do a little bit of meditation, to be in the place where the ability within starts to happen. Okay. And if I don't focus to that level where I was able to go through those storms, then I wouldn't have that ability. You can see this in your professions, you can see this in your homes, you can see this in your companionships. And so let's go ahead and start taking a look at what meditation is. Okay, what does it mean to me to meditate? What does it mean to you to meditate? And so, are we able to use that kind of self work? Work on the energy within ourselves. Are we able to, in a sense, embody who we are, to be inside of our being, to have that place inside of who we are, and it's inside of that place that I look, and it's inside of that place that your emotions lay, your mentality lays, your ability inside of who you are lays, and I a lot of people feel like they're trying to win some award or gain some place or some status or some ability, and really the only thing that they're building is themselves. Everything that you do, every place that you go, every part of your being and every part of your vibration comes from within you. It comes from what you are seeking within who you are. And it's within that place, the side of who we are, that we start to realize when it's worth it, and what it takes to get down with that part of ourselves, and to want to achieve, and to want to manifest, and it it takes that place for one to open up. It takes that place for one to want to overcome, and when we are starting to become open to ourselves, when we're starting to become open to our being, when we're becoming open to our purpose and our journey, then we start to have joy inside of ourselves, and it's inside of that place that I, that I seek out on a daily. You see what I'm saying? I'm seeking out those lessons. I'm seeking out those emotions. I'm seeking out that connection, to be present within oneself, to be present within one's ability to be who you are on the inside, and to utilize what you have, and because all of us have different gifts. We have different skills, and are we able to utilize those skills? Are we able to utilize what we have inside, and are we able to get inwards, and just spend a moment being aware of the energy inside of who we are and inside of our beings, and are we able to find that place, and it's inside of who we are that we are present, and when we start to recognize that, when we start to recognize that part of ourselves, our abilities to overcome our pains, our abilities to overcome our emotions, our abilities to believe that it's who we are, and it it comes from within ourselves, and I look at I look at this time that I have on a daily to manifest, to be within, to utilize those challenges that we can overcome our own, and it makes me want to share that with you. It makes me want to uplift you. It makes me want to let you know that a student and a teacher lives within you, that the one who is inside is both. The one who is inside is both the focus and the knowledge. And that we can get there, that we can utilize it, that we can focus to that point where we believe in ourselves, where we believe in our ability, where we believe that the knowledge within us is worth it, that the journey is worth it, that our path and our purpose is worth it. And so when we're going through challenges, are you using your knowledge? And that's the purpose of sitting down in stillness, is to study that. It's to give yourself a little bit of space for you to be there and to decompress that part of yourself, to utilize that part of your being. And it's inside of that we can. It's inside of that we are, and it's inside of that we seek that place. And it's inside of who we are that we start to overcome, and it's in focusing, and it's in utilizing that knowledge within you that you light up. Within that, giving yourself the ability to both be the student and the teacher in your lives. To take those field trips with yourself, to go and enjoy those lakes, to enjoy those oceans, to enjoy those rivers. And it comes from within, okay? It comes from a place where we are. It comes from the ability inside of ourselves, and it comes from inside of the mentality, and and I truly enjoy it, and I want to share it with you. I want to share with you the skills, the abilities within that I utilize on a daily, and that's why I record my meditations sometimes. The things that I've been working at for quite a few years now. You know what I mean? And I want you to be able to work on yourself in the same way. Work on yourself to where your light starts to shine, where your ability within yourself starts to open up. And that's what I call breath work. And a lot of people see that reflection as meditation. But there are many forms of meditation. You see, your mentality, your very vibration is a meditation. And each thing that you do, each place that you go, each person that you talk to is a part of that. And it comes from within that place that we can overcome. It comes from within that place that we can achieve. It comes from within that place that we can manifest, and I really enjoy that. I enjoy that place where the teacher and the student within themselves starts to build. And I've had patience, and I've worked with people, and I've seen people grow, and I've seen people manifest, and I look within that place. I look within that ability, and it comes from within who we are. And it's amazing when we're facing off against challenges. It's amazing when we're asking those kinds of questions. It's amazing when we're seeking out that kind of light, and we're trying to become that kind of being. And and I sit down here, and I recognize that this is what it takes. It takes this part of who you are. It takes this part of what you want to become, and and I see this, and I see these these people that are building because they're listening to this network. I see these people that are seeing this discipline and seeing this focus, and they're starting to ask themselves those types of questions. Can I do that myself? Can I utilize that part of who I am? Can I be who I am on the inside? Can I give myself that kind of time? And I'm so grateful to have that kind of time. I remember a period of time where I didn't have much time for myself. I remember a time when every hour that I was awake, I was working. And now I'm starting to manifest within and reflect outwards, and to sit down and to utilize that discipline, to utilize that focus, to utilize that being within, and it's wonderful. It's truly wonderful to use this person that you are, and use this being that we are inside, and to want to achieve that kind of light and that kind of peace. And I'm getting ready to prepare for that and to use that discipline, and we each have it. We have that place inside of ourselves where it takes it, and it's inside of who we are that it's worth, and it's amazing that we can be there, and we can uplift each other, and we can start to get to a place where discipline starts to work its way out. And it is possible to reach a place where other people can become uplifted by you. It is inside of you that you can overcome. It's inside of you that you can manifest. And when you become disciplined, you become a reflection of inspiration. When you inspire other people, when you uplift other people, they see your discipline. Okay, they see the things that you work on, they see the abilities that you utilize, they see the things that you're going through, and they start to want to be close to you for that. They want to be close to you to go through that. And it's amazing to have that place for ourselves, and to utilize that part of our being, and utilize that part of our purpose. And it it's inside of who we are that we got to spend that kind of time, and it's inside of who we are that we got to spend that kind of energy, and it's inside of who we are that we can become that kind of light and utilize that kind of manifestation, and it's inside of who we are that we have what it takes, and so how are we starting to utilize that? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm on that kind of a grind today. I'm getting ready to go to a lake. I'm getting ready to sit down and do some meditation. Get ready to go on with this day, and it's a beautiful day. Each day that we are alive is a blessing, and your life is a blessing. Your ability within yourself is a blessing. The challenges that you face off against are blessings. And so let's be those blessings out there. Let's get to that place of discipline where we answer that question on a daily. is what I'm doing today. Is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. As I close, I just want to say blessings to you all and namaste.